So we have brand new information about the relationship between Tyler Robinson, Charlie Kirk's alleged assassin, and Lance Twiggs, his boyfriend, partner. We don't know how to call it at this point. I think it was boyfriend because they were in a relationship, as exposed by the YouTuber Turkey Tom, who had exclusive access to some Discord messages never before seen, and were shown here. This article by House in Habit. Breaking explosive Discord leak reveals disturbing details about Tyler Robinson and Lance Twiggs' relationship. And the thing that I see that is really helpful is to understand where this comes from, and it basically confirms a lot of stuff, at least the radicalization part that that has been obvious since the start. Now an unexpected lead has emerged. Someone who claims to know Robinson and Twiggs firsthand is stepping forward with exclusive details the public has never seen. YouTuber Turkey Tom was recently contacted by an anonymous source who says they have been gaming with Tyler Robinson and Lance Twiggs for the past 6 years. The source shared intimate details about the pair, including Discord screenshots and insights into the downward spiral that may have culminated on September 10th. And he was sharing texts like, and also for the record, Tyler 100% calls Lance my love when they are talking alone. And yeah, that's one of the first things. The most important thing is how to tell that this is legit. And this anonymous source proved that he lived or was around Tyler Robinson and Lance Twiggs, sharing pictures of their home. This friend verified his identity by providing an original photo of Tyler and Lance's apartment from across the street, photos from inside their apartment, and archives from 3 Discord servers they were in together that had not been publicly distributed. Again, take this with a grain of salt still, but this looks pretty much legit to me. And the fact that I don't see anything rather outrageous or crazy in here, but it basically like has this gradient of the process of the relationship itself. It sounds legit, but let's check this out. Tyler and Lance up close. Tyler Robinson, described as level-headed and easygoing. Yeah, because a level-headed guy is going to, grab a rifle and shot somebody in the neck. Again, I don't know what kind of level-headed we are talking about here, but well, Tyler, according to the source, was the quote-unquote normal one in their group of friends. Quiet, highly intelligent, outdoorsy, and even-tempered. He had dropped out of an electrical apprenticeship at Dixie Technical College. Before moving in with the Lance, he presented as outwardly straight and, according to the friend, was presumed to be a virgin. Lance grew up in a Mormon household and was in deep conflict with his family over their religion. On Reddit, he describes being kicked out of his home after his family claimed he was possessed by a demon. Again, Lance has always been a little weird and quirky, but never really crazy. But, well, he, you know the kind of stuff he was into. All this furry stuff, all the trans stuff. So, yeah, the guy was not well in the head. And again, I mentioned that maybe this Tyler Robinson being the level-headed, I have to make it clear that it was at the start of this anonymous source's observations. So yeah, people change over time, and people infatuated by a relationship that they have can transform in many ways. That's something that we have to say. The friend recalled Lance swinging between bouts of depression and manic nesting phases during which he would hoard trash, trinkets, wires, and alcohol containers, often lashing out if disturbed. And he was on also some substances, as it claims in here. As a couple, the source recalls Tyler moved in with Lance in early 2024. Within 2 weeks, Lance had a major mental breakdown and began trashing their living space. Their friend remembers that the apartment, once the go-to spot for weekly Magic the Gathering game nights, quickly turned into a place where everyone felt uneasy. Tyler took on the role of caretaker, cleaning up after Lance, calming him during meltdowns, and eventually curling up with him on the couch even when friends were around. So yeah, it seems that there was this kind of codependency between them, but that is nothing out of the ordinary and troubled youths. At first, the friend was in denial about them becoming a couple, but it became impossible to ignore once Tyler and Lance started showing their affection openly, putting the relationship on full display in front of everyone. So yeah, if it's like this text. It became very uncomfortable for me because, well, I don't think of myself as homophobic. Seeing two dudes constantly making out was a bit much. So again, it's like they really didn't care. They were doing this displays in front of their friends like it was nothing. Maybe they wanted to show that. Maybe they wanted to dare their friends to say something, and maybe that was the way to rebel in that same circumstances. Which again, it's I guess a yellow flag if you see somebody who seems like he's straight and he begins doing these kind of things. I don't know. That would be weird. That would be weird. There's no other way to say it. Lance's spiral before 2024 neither was strongly political. Their friend group joked about politics, but always casually. As Lance's mental state worsened, he began obsessing over gender, trans identity, and social persecution, often complaining about misgendering and conservative rhetoric. Tyler, who had been the most apolitical in their group, absorbed Lance's agitation, first expressing mild anti-Trump frustration, and later sharing darker, more cynical thoughts online. The friend described violent and incoherent doodles Lance had made and was able to share a few photos of them. Again, there's these doodles that, of course, they are disturbing, but at the same time, it's like I don't think this proves much. I think sometimes when I'm on a phone call, I detest phone calls. By the way, it's like it's not my doodles are not that aggressive. Maybe I can show you some of my doodles, but. Yeah, this is gibberish. There's nothing to make out from here. I don't know. This all right, but he told Turkey Tom, "This stuff looks bad, but it's even worse when you saw his face when he was doodling. This stuff combined with the giggling and how vigorously he would scribble, it was very scary." Yeah, well, I don't know. Well, this could pass something at the moment, so I don't know. It's maybe it's not that much. No, notice that there's like a hand. I didn't see this the first time I see this picture. Notice this fingers in here. So the doodle is really small. Is that the size of this is like a post-it yellow sticky note. So it's really small. It's really small. Notice that there's fingers in here, so it's really small. I don't know if that is something that... Notice that these are smallish as well. You notice the size of this 9-volt battery. Maybe this is one of the biggest one. This is a whole sheet of paper. And again, I don't see anything. It's like a Star Wars destroyer in here. I don't know. And the way he spoke was weird. It was a bunch of words, but none of them made sense together, or sometimes it'd be in the rhyme, or just sometimes had only smile and point at stuff. Well, so far I don't see, and the smile was so effing scary. So many people were scary smiles. I'm not saying that these are yellow flags. Maybe not red flags in themselves. Maybe you have to keep an eye on them, but that said. Tyler and Lance appear to be in a deep state of codependence, remaining sexually active even while Lance was in his manic phases. There's a discarded condom in this picture that I'm going to skip. Crazily enough, while Lance was like that, Tyler was still hitting that. Again, that's how codependence works, is that you feel like you have somebody to lean on, but in a, let's say, not so healthy way, and they do the same, and you both support your own tendencies. That is basically a shared self-destruction. So that is never healthy, and that never ends well. As Lance spiraled, he began blowing up at his friends if they mentioned transgenderism, which eventually led to fixating on public figures, especially conservative commentators who spoke out on the topic. According to Turkey Tom, Tyler was being subjected to an incessant barrage of generally psychotic ramblings for a paranoid and deranged Lance who had recently become significantly more political. As in customary for people with these kinds of delusions, they start fixating on prominent people. This is probably when the name of Charlie Kirk entered the mix. I don't know. Again, this is just a theory. I see that this is a bit, they are like implying or suggesting that this happened, but there's no way to say that this is how it really unfolded. My mid-2025, both spent nearly all their time in isolation, feeding each other's resentment and paranoia. Okay, if they spend nearly all their time in isolation, how does the source know that they were feeding each other with resentment and paranoia? That's the thing, right? If you did not have access to them, if they were isolated most of the time, how do you know that it was happening? Maybe you were guessing it for the moments that you were sharing with them, but again, it is a bit hard to see the connection in here. And it's even harder to see this last part. We all thought Lance would be okay because he had Tyler, who was basically his handler at this point, to take care of him. And this is the last paragraph. With all of this in mind, one can speculate. Again, these are speculations. As Lance's self-appointed protector, constantly drained by his partner's erratic behavior, Tyler may have come to perceive the threats Lance raged about as real. In his mind, killing Charlie could have seemed like the ultimate solution to his lover's torment, an act of justice, vengeance on Lance's behalf, or protective martyrdom, distorted by prolonged exposure to delusion and psychological stress. I had my doubts about this. Because precisely of the way this unfolds. I'm not going to tell you why. I see a contradiction in here. Precisely, if you see Tyler as originally the level-headed, the one who is kind of a more nurturing, more worried about Lance's feelings and condition and outbursts and everything, and they're in this relationship, and Tyler knows that he's the one who, take care of Lance. Tyler should have known that, okay, shouldn't Charlie Kirk would have been like this, like some kind of act of vengeance, right? The problem that I see is that Tyler would have known, if he was smart, and it seems that he was smartish or smart, he says GPA or whatever, he must have known that there was a high chance that he was going to get caught. All right? And if he was going to get caught, notice the reasoning here, then he would not be able to protect Lance anymore because he would be in prison or even the death penalty or something. So I I have a bit of a trouble. I can understand. All right, because I myself, I have to be very clear, I myself said that on a previous video about the Charlie Kirk case, in which I guess that Tyler Robinson, if Tyler Robinson was the one who did it, he was, you know what, I know how to use guns. I've been around guns all my life. I think that I can pull this off, and he did too, get in good graces with his transgender and furry friends or whatever freaks are in those Discord channels or whatever, and especially with his boyfriend. But at the same time, I see the way this is framed from this anonymous source, and it makes sense that Tyler was the one taking care of Lance. And if you feel like you're taking care of somebody, I don't know, maybe, and this is just a theory, I'm speculating as well. Maybe Lance was just fed up of that. Maybe Tyler Robinson wanted out. Oh, I want out of this. Maybe he was exhausted. Maybe he wanted something, because it is obvious. If you want to take care of your boyfriend, then you stay by your boyfriend, and you can say whatever you want about Charlie Kirk and spew all your toxicity online, but don't go and kill Charlie Kirk, because that will land you in jail and you will not be able to protect your boyfriend anymore. You understand what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense. That what he did doesn't look like somebody who wants to protect his loved one from harm. I don't know, but I would love to know what you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Paralanguage Guy. Much love and bliss.